Hey everyone, I know you've been hard at work learning how to use Google Classroom, get your classes set up, fill in our communication logs, learn about Google Hangouts and how to do some video conferencing for meetings and for teaching your classes. But through all that, if you've been kind of wondering, like, I get all this, but how am I actually going to teach my class? I'm used to having a whiteboard in the front of the room that I can stand up there and write on, or using my document camera that I can project a worksheet and write on that, fill it in, highlight things, show the kids what I'm doing. If you're wondering how you can replace that, I have a really good tool that I learned about called Explain Everything. Explain Everything is basically an interactive whiteboard. You can pull up a blank whiteboard, you can write on it, you can make shapes, you can type text, you can point things out. It has lots of other features, like you can actually record it, you can have other people join you in the same session, so you could both be interactively writing on the whiteboard. Lots of things like that. There is a free version which has all the tools. What it doesn't have is a long time that you can record. You could only record your session for 1 minute. I think it limits the amount of people that could join in on your session if you have the free version. And your files can be done in separate slides, and the free version only allows you to have one slide in a file. And I think you're limited on the amount of space that you can save in their cloud storage. But other than that, you actually have all the basic tools to use Explain Everything. I paid $3 for a 1 month premium version. You can get a year premium version, I think, for $25 as an educator. So I just thought I'd try out the premium version for this month, since that was probably when I was most likely going to be making videos to show you guys things. And then I probably won't need the premium version after that, but we'll see. I may love it and I may want to keep it. So in the next video, I'm going to show you some of the basic tools of how to use Explain Everything Interactive Whiteboard. Okay, so I'm back to show you how to use Explain Everything Interactive Whiteboard. I think the hardest thing about Explain Everything is figuring out how to get to your files. So when you go to the explaineverything.com page, over here where it says Account, you click there. And then when it opens your account, you actually click here where it says Cloud Projects. And that opens up any files that you have saved, which I don't have any, or you can start a new project. So we're going to do that. I have the option to start a blank, a template, or start from a file. I can import a file later. So for right now, I'm just going to show you a blank project to get some of the basic tools. I'm going to join without the microphone on because I'm actually doing a screencastify of Explain Everything. Because if you do an Explain Everything recording, you only see the whiteboard area of the screen in the recording. You don't actually see the tools used to do it. So I wanted you to be able to see the tools. So basic tools. I can insert pictures, screenshots, things that were on my computer, audio files. The hand tool is a selection tool. A drawing tool. I can change tip sizes. I can change from more like a marker pen tip to a pencil tip and pick what kind of lead I want it to have. So I'm going to go back to the marker tip. I can pick different pen colors. Again, I could make a really thick line or back to a really thin line. This is a highlighter. Again, I can choose thickness, but if I highlight, you can see through the highlighting. So if I had a page of text, I could highlight something in the text to draw attention to that. I can erase. I can draw shapes. Not many options, but I could draw a circle and I can change it. I can drag and make it bigger, smaller. I can change outline colors for those shapes. I can change the border width. So you can see that border is much bigger. I can fill any sort of closed shape. So those are filled with gray right now, but I can fill them. I can even fill, if I draw my own closed shape, as long as it's closed, I could go back and fill it with a color. I can type text. When I'm done, I click the check mark. I can bold, italicize, superscript, subscript. I can change font styles and font sizes, text colors. Is it completely opaque? Is it more transparent? So I have a lot of choices there. I can sort of select an area here, and then I can move that. So sort of like a copy and paste if I needed to duplicate something. I can delete things. I select on what I had and I delete that. I select on what I had and I delete that. Same with text. This is a pointer for me to highlight what's going on my screen. So I could choose an arrow. So every time I click, I want to point to this. I want to point to that. I want to point to that. I can change my pointer to a hand. I'm pointing at this, that, the other. I can change my pointer to a lightsaber. So now I can draw your attention to all of these things using a lightsaber. I have an undo. I have some zoom tools down here at the bottom behind my Screencastify. So I'm going to end up this video and I'll show you some more advanced stuff in the next one. Okay, so I'm back with Explain Everything to show you a few of the more advanced tools. So this time I'm going to start a new project. Instead of saying a blank project, you could choose a template. I don't find them incredibly helpful, but I'm going to choose file. So what this is going to do is it's going to put this file in the background of my whiteboard. So that's going to be like if you were projecting with your document camera. I know our 8th grade teachers have been reading Tom Sawyer. So I downloaded a PDF file of Tom Sawyer. And so I'm going to embed that. I get options of what pages I want to show and sort of what format. So I'm just picking some pages to insert. And so now you see the Tom Sawyer text on my screen. So I could put some text in. I could say, Joe, could you start reading here? I could highlight and say, well, this is an important detail right here. So you guys should highlight that in your book while we're reading along together. You could always type a note to them right here, like about important, remember this. You could point something out to them. You could say, we're reading along right here. So I could place some text in there and maybe you insert this in the middle when you're presenting in your Google Hangout and you guys could read along together with the text on the screen. So I'm going to go out. This is how you get to your projects that are saved. So when I leave, it saves it automatically. So that was the one we just did. I'm going to start another new project. This time I'm going to say blank again. And I'm going to show you how if you're already in that you could insert a file. So I could go over here and I could say I want to insert a file. And I also had this elementary matching sheet. Nope, that's not what I thought it was. That's not what I want to put in there. So let me try to find the other one. There we go. So I had a kindergarten identify beginning sounds that I was going to put in there. So I think you could record this and you could say things like, this is a pig. What sound does it start with? And then which one would that match with? Which letter? And then you could show yourself drawing it over there. If you had invited other people to make this interactive, you could actually let the kid draw and match the pig to the P or the fish to the F. So I've never actually done an interactive one with other people joined in, but that is a possibility. And I think there are a couple videos on the Explain Everything site that actually show the teacher and the student from each of their perspectives seeing the same thing on the screen. So down here are the record tools. So if I wanted to record this session, which I'm not going to, I could click. I'll do that in a minute so you'll actually see what the recording is. Up here is where I can invite other people to join in and collaborate with me on this. So that's a possibility. In the paid version, I can add extra slides. So now here I'm to a blank slide, and here's my slide sorter where I could switch back and forth. Without the paid version, you're limited to just one slide. I wanted you to see what it would look like if you actually did the recording from Explain Everything instead of how I did before, and I did a screencastify to show you the whole screen. So what you're seeing now is recorded completely inside Explain Everything. So any tools that I use and changes that I make, you're not going to actually see the toolbars. You're just going to see the things show up on the screen. So you're going to have no idea what I'm going to do until you actually see it on the screen. So there are lots of editing tools. I have not used them, but there is some pretty extensive information on the editing of the recordings and trimming them and splitting them and those kind of things. So if you really want to get deep into that, those tutorials are available on Explain Everything's website, and I could help you find those if you needed them. But I just wanted to show you some of the basics that you could record this session and then put it out as a video.